What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? It's Celtic Warrior Shane.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Bella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1 again. It's me, Ref Marsh, and we at WOTR the show. And we have today the other half of the legendary duo, the IIRonics. Got Kevlar on the rocks over here, man.
What's going on, guys? That one hit a little different.
Yeah.
Got a little higher.
Yeah.
Put a little more oomph in that one.
Yeah, I ate right before the show, so I was ready for it. A little more oomph in it. I'm pouring myself a glass of red wine today. I decided to try and take it a little bit easier on the amount drinking, so I'm going up on the strength of it.
Simple mathematics.
Yes, it's just math. What do you got? What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking some 805.
Oh, very cool. My brother had the American Lager the other day, the Stone Cold one, the American Pilsner, the American Lager. He loved it, so I'm gonna try and get some soon.
We'll see. Yeah, I want to try it. When I was out of town, when I was leaving, I realized I forgot to check, and it was at a store across the town or the city, and I was like, I can't drive 45 minutes out of my way to pick some up.
Last day.
Yeah.
Cheers to Just in Time coming through the chat. Cheers, Just in Time.
Cheers.
See what L'chaim.
I'll drink
let's
to
see.
that.
Well, as far as any kind of news goes, man, it's all been kind of the same old with the Vince stuff. Laurinaitis was I don't know if they called it suspension or temporary leave or something like that, but he's not in the talent relations position now. It's going to be Bruce Pritchard. I mean, also supposedly Triple H was down at the Performance Center today saying that he's back. I don't know what that's going to mean. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the bottom line is nobody knows what any of this stuff means, and some people are going to pretend like they do, and we don't do that. But
do you think NXT goes back to black and gold?
I don't think so. I can't imagine that he would do such a crazy shift on it at this point. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, I think we might see a shift in some of the stories, or maybe we might see the debut of somebody or two that maybe wasn't getting the love they thought they should, but I don't think we're going to get like a 3.0 all of a sudden.
Back to one.
Yeah, it just says back to black. I mean, fucking.
Yeah. Have some AC/DC blaring.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, there's only so much speculation we can do on it all, so I don't think we will, realistically. But you want to talk some of the show, or is there anything you want to talk about before we get into Smackdown?
I don't know if you mentioned it on your Thursday show, but obviously the two refs we lost last week.
Yeah, Tim White and Dave Hebnar. It was a bummer. I got to meet Tim White twice. Rest in peace. Tears in our beers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Heard he was a great guy.
Yeah, he was really nice when I met him. The first time I met him was at Royal Rumble 2019. I was doing the meet and greet for Sasha and Bailey together. And as we were walking away from that, he was like just on the other side of the guardrail around the side, like kind of where they funnel you out of. He was kind of like right over there. And I stopped and I was like, holy shit, it's Tim White. And went over, asked him if he would sign my hat. And he goes like, oh, I don't know if you want me to sign this. Like, you just had it signed by a couple of big stars, because my hat was also signed by Sasha and Bailey. And I was like, no, I got to have you. I was like, look, I had Charles Robinson sign it first. And so I showed him where Charles Robinson signed it, and he goes, oh, I'm not putting my name next to anything that's got his name on it. And then he just started laughing. He goes, I'm just kidding. He's a good guy. and then he signed it for me, and we stood there and talked for just a few minutes. And then I saw him again at ToyCon in Vegas about wait, that wasn't that was 2019, huh? The Rumble.
Yes.
Huh. So it couldn't have been that much longer after that. It could have only been a couple months later because, I mean, obviously COVID happened March 2020. So some point later on in that same year, I was in Vegas. Man, this shit all kind of that was right before, I think, also Double or Nothing. It was right around that same time. Yeah. 2019 was wild, man. I think I went to a ton of wild meet and greets and shit 2019. That was my year. But when I was meeting Seth Rollins, he was sitting right there next to him. And so I said something to Seth and talked to him for a second, and then I just kind of scooted over to get my stuff together, and I was kind of right there, and I was like, oh man, what's up, Tim? And we started talking. We talked for probably 10 or 15 minutes. He was just talking about different road stories here and there, traveling with the guys, doing the meet and greets, and it was cool, man. He was so nice and so willing to just start swapping stories and talk to you right away, and super welcoming. At no point did I ever feel like I was annoying him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Kevin Owens even posted up on his that one of his favorite parts of doing the conventions and the meet and greets is that Tim White was always with them. And he goes, the line for him was always just as long for us, and he always said he didn't understand it. He goes, he didn't understand the kind of legend that he was. So, yeah. It's nice he got a little bit of that love, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then, yeah, Justin says in the thing, the moment Impact Wrestling had for Dave and Brian Hebner for Slammiversary was incredible. So Brian Hebner's last match for Impact was during Slammiversary main event, and he gets knocked out. Earl Hebner's ringside in a polo, jumps the rail more or less, rips off his polo. He's got a ref shirt underneath, slides in and does the 3 count. And then Earl and Brian point up to the sky and, this one's for you. And yeah, it was really cool. Really cool they did that.
Nice.
I'd wonder why he stopped doing. There was a little while right at the beginning of the pandemic when all the virtual meet and greets were happening that Earl Hebner was doing a few, and Dave was with him on most of them. They were doing them together. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try and catch one of these and send in that ref jersey I have signed by Tommy Young and get them both to sign it. But after the one that I saw, they were never doing it again together. And then a few months ago, I saw a picture of Dave. Some people posted, and he just was in a wheelchair and looked like he was in bad shape. And I was like, oh, that's probably why he's not out there doing anything anymore. So, shame to lose them both. So.
And crazy, so close to each other.
Yeah, that was insane. I don't know, did you get a chance to meet either of them ever?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I know I met Earl Hebner when I was little.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw Tim White in passing a few times, and I was just kind of like, oh, cool, there he is, and I never went up to him or anything like that. But after hearing all the stories of people, that had a lot of interactions like you, I'm like, damn, I really should have done that.
Yeah. It's a bummer, man. You just never know. That's why, take your pictures, get the autograph, ask for that moment. It's one thing for the people who kind of force the moment and stand around in airports and bathrooms and shit, but it's another thing to take advantage of the moment when you have it, when you see it.
Yeah.
It was a bummer. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you also got to just read the area,
yeah,
or the room, if you will. Don't do it in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And don't be like one of those jackasses that comes up with 15 photos and says, "Hey, 15 kids, can you sign them, please?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, motherfucker, that's gonna be on eBay in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a bummer, dude. I hate that stuff. It sucks because when you are just a general fan who bumps into them, all the talent are on guard because they're they don't want to get wrapped up into one of those things. When I was on that flight with a bunch of the talent on the way to Smackdown, I became this weirdo that they were looking at weird because I was wearing a wrestling shirt, and I kind of nodded at a couple of them when we made eye contact. I was like, oh hey, this is weird, right? But then they were all acting weird, and I was like, what's going on? Like, why are they all kind of like, I'm not doing anything. I didn't even approach him or anything. I just was like not gonna pretend like I'm sitting there in a Bailey shirt, and you want me to pretend I don't know who you are? You know what I mean? Like, clearly I watched the current product. You know what I mean? Like, so I just smiled and nodded, and that was it. I didn't approach any of them or ask for anything, but they were kind of like real side-eyeing to me a bunch, because I think at the end of the day, they just didn't know if I was going to bombard them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they were waiting for you to jump up and mark out.
Yeah, or come up with a fucking binder full of 8x10s and be like, hey, can you sign 5 or 6 of these real quick? You know what I mean? Like, that shit happens to them so much that it kind of spoils those moments for some of us. And that's what kind of made me nervous when I was over at in that bar with Pat Patterson. And why I didn't approach him until that last second, because I was just all like, I don't want him to think I'm just some dude who's like following him and stuff. Like, it was this whole thing where it's like, now you look in passing and it's like, man, should have gotten that moment, you know? So.
Well, that's the whole reason why I had kids. Then I have an excuse to take the kids over there.
Yep. That's why I want to take one of your kids with me.
Yeah, I know, right? Can I borrow you, kid?
Mm-hmm. It's funny, the other day we drove by Peter Piper, and there was some special on the door, and the producer lady was reading it. And so like, oh, look on this day they do these things. I was like, you're not allowed in there without a kid. And she's like, you think Kevin will let us borrow one of them? And I was like, we might get really out of luck, and he might make us take them all.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah. Which one of your kids has been behaving the best lately? They've all been pretty great. Nah. If you had to pick one that's your favorite today, which is the one that's your favorite today?
It's a tie. It's all a tie. Yeah. A funny random story, but my dad did that one time. He went and he was getting like, I think new tires on his truck, and
yeah,
he was like looked around and was like, well, the only place around here that serves beer is Peter Piper Pizza. Yeah. So he went in there and grabbed a beer, and I happened to call him. Like, Dad, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just at Peter Piper Pizza having a beer. I was like, Dad, get out of there. You're going to look like a pedophile.
Yeah.
You didn't show up with any kids. You're not eating pizza. You have to leave immediately.
Retreat, fall back. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it sucked to hear that. And then I think of guys like Jim Corderas, you know what I mean? Was on the road with those guys for his entire career, knew them so well. Like, those guys are the guys that trained him, even guys he looked up to. And then for him to lose 2 back-to-back, I was like, man, that guy's got to be going through it this week, you know? So
yeah,
thoughts are with him as well. So
yeah,
especially when you think about like the brotherhood. What?
So yeah, you know, all the friends and family of these guys, like you said, a lot of these guys knew both of them. Yeah. So to lose, 2 friends back to back like that.
Yeah. So
it was hard enough, losing 2 friends in in the same accident. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't imagine just 2 separate words. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, come on. But yeah, man. Tears in our beers for them, and we'll see you down the road, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Let's talk SmackDown, dude. Let's talk SmackDown.
All right. Vinnie Mac comes
opened up. Man, I don't know if I said it on the show. You'll have to remind me if I did or not. But I remember saying it as I'm watching. I was like, this is going to be so great when Vince comes out and all these dirt sheets are expecting him to come out and talk about the investigations, talk about Stephanie taking control, and really hoping for like a Donahue moment here. And I was like, and it's going to be so funny when he comes out there and does none of that stuff, just doesn't sell it at all, and just says, thanks for coming to the show. And then I was like, if anything, he might say something about theory. I was like, I don't see him doing any of those things. And it's going to be hysterical. I was like, I can't wait to watch the internet, burn. And, that's exactly what happened. Vince came out.
Yes.
The crowd cheered. He said, you saw the signature, as we call it, then, now, forever, but the most important one is together. Welcome to SmackDown. Before I tell you what my read on it was, there's been a lot of speculation out there. The big one that the dirt sheets have been saying is that it's a power move. It's him daring the board to do something about it. And kind of a big pissing contest is what they're perceiving it as. I understand
I love a
their
good old pissing contest.
yeah, pissing is fun, dude. I totally get why they say that, and I'm not saying they're wrong about it at all, but that was not my takeaway from it at all. Quick cheers to Bishop coming through the chat real quick.
Cheers,
Kev,
Bishop.
yeah, cheers. What was your read on Vince's appearance here?
See, I don't think it's like a power struggle type of thing. Like, you know, I think it was simply Vince coming out and without saying it, blatantly saying it, that this is nothing. People are reading too much into it, and it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. It's as simple as that.
I could see that too. I got a slightly different read out of it, not too far off, but a slightly different read off of it as well. My thought was this was his way of kind of like reassuring the board and the audience, the paying audience. Because realistically, who do they care about more than anyone is the paying audience. Whether you sit at home and tweet 500 tweets a show and don't buy a single ticket whenever they come to your town and don't buy a shirt until it's on clearance, like, you're really not the voice they're concerned about. They want to know who's filling up those stadiums, like, realistically.
Yeah.
So I think it was his way of showing the board that the paying customers are still with them, in a sense, right? They cheered. Look, they're not booing me out of the building. And I think it was his way of also reassuring the audience that, hey guys, like, regardless of what's happening behind the scenes, the show is going to go on. The show's going to continue the way that it has. This is SmackDown. It's not the Vince McMahon hour. You know what I mean? This isn't, in a lot of ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's not. Like, no matter what we do here, this is going to be what you're getting. And that's what I got out of it, was just this really simple, hey board members, look at the crowd still cheers for me. They're still listening to me. And hey, audience members, the show's going to keep going. Don't stress about this. You let us deal with this. That's what I read off of it.
Yeah, I can see exactly that point. Like, it's, hey, don't worry. We'll take care of it. You guys just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah. Justin Time says, I didn't expect Vince to go into full detail about anything, but boy, oh boy, was that and what happened on Monday very pointless. And let's talk about Monday, too. When he came out Monday, fucking, like, dancing and smiling, at that point, I was wondering if he was just bored backstage, because now that he's not doing CEO stuff, and he's just doing talent stuff, like, he's just doing creative, supposedly, so can you imagine he's just back there just being like, yeah, fuck it, I want to go out there. Hit my music.
Yeah. Hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to drive home the point of the paying audience, it was announced that, Vince was going to be at SmackDown.
Yes.
So everyone there was expecting. The pop that he got on Raw was amazing. And this is why I fucking hate Twitter and spoilers and all that shit, because that's the kind of wrestling that I love. Yep. Where the surprises, the pops and stuff like that, like, they showed people like literally like jumping out of their seats, and you could tell people were like filing in and just running down the aisles. I saw a few people like that was amazing.
Yeah, and the crowd's behind him, man. Let's see. Parzivals in the chat says cheers from Germany.
Cheers.
Trying to remember how to say cheers in German.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, don't fuck it up.
I keep thinking of like Hulk Sozy Leben, which is kind of like a long life. It's kind of like a birthday thing. No, is it Hulk? Isn't that cheers? Hulk. Because Hulk Sozy Leben, drei more Hulk, Hulk. It's kind of like a cheers song. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've been in Germany.
But yeah,
Willkommen.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Prost. That's what it is. Prost. Oh, you just said it. You said it in the chat. Bitte. No, that's not. Thank you, is it? God, my German's a mess right now, man.
But I
Go
was
ahead. What were
gonna.
you saying?
I saw a tweet randomly. I don't know who tweeted it, but they said that they would love to see Vince come out there each week and just throw out a random fact
Yes.
and then just like leave.
Yes.
Like the guy's example was, well, Curtis Axel was never officially eliminated in 2009 Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
And just walk away. Like
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that'd be so amazing.
It'd be so good, dude. It'd be so good. But yeah, I see a lot of people getting really mad. They think it's disgusting. He would come out there and not say the certain things that they want him to say. And it's like, if you honestly think that Smackdown or Raw was going to be where he gives you his deposition, like, you kind of got what was coming to you. Like I said, to me,
100%.
more than anything, this was, hey, show's going to go on. Don't worry about us. And hey, if I got free time, I might come out and goof off with you guys for a minute. Like, fuck. And it's kind of neat to say, at least to see while he can. I mean, at the end of the day, if everything goes south for him, he might not have a ton of appearances left. So maybe he's just trying to have a little fun with it before he's done for. But yeah, I didn't expect a whole lot more than what we got. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was nervous when I saw him jump off the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera quickly changed. I was like, "Ah, fuck!" He blew out his legs again.
Dude, did you see his foot got caught in the ropes on his way out too? He got caught on the middle and then the bottom rope too. And it's like, you're already out. How to get back in?
Yeah.
And then he was just laughing about it because he's like, God damn it, you know. But yeah, dude, a lot of people were really upset. I was not. I was laughing because I knew a lot of people were going to be upset.
Yeah.
And I know we don't dissect ratings because they don't really matter. Like, people try to pretend that they do. They definitely don't matter in the day, like they did in the 90s by most accounts. But SmackDown and Raw did some of the best ratings they've had in since WrestleMania season and before even. So, like, Raw was close to 2 million without even being announced that Vince was going to be there, you know?
Yeah. And it just goes to the point of no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
You know, like, Tony Khan, come on, admit you're doing coke.
Just go ahead.
Go out
Get it out there. People are going to watch it. They're like, hey, you want to see coked up wrestling? Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something with Tony Khan. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Just get the viewers in. But yeah, dude, I was not disappointed because I was not expecting this to be Geraldo Rivera. And the people who were like, this is insane. And oh my God, dude, I just laughed so much.
The same people that were pissed off were watching daily of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they wanted the trial to happen right there on SmackDown.
Yeah. Hang him now.
Yeah.
Calm down.
I think it was also because they're a publicly traded company, they knew that their stocks are going to be, you know, something they got to consider. So how do you appease the board? How do you please them? How do you calm them down? How do you calm down the audience, other investors? Like, hey, look, at even in the midst of all this, if I show up, they cheer. The people who are paying are still going to be paying. The people who are coming in are still coming in. Like, the company will be fine with or without me. I think it's kind of what he was showing by showing up, you know, but I don't know. That's just my take on it. Parzival saying he's so drunk tonight that he would shave his head clean live and stream if a woman comes in and smokes with me. Drunken challenge. I can't make a woman fly to Germany. I just can't do it.
Come on, we got some contacts in Germany, don't we?
I mean, most of my German contacts are not in Germany. I probably could find some. We'll find someone in Germany.
Yeah.
Riddle was on both shows a lot too, man. They've been really utilizing Riddle hard. He did a promo here. He did a promo on Raw. He had his main event match on SmackDown. He had a significant match on Raw. I mean, it was against Omos, so it was like, you know, maybe not a classic, but there were stakes on the line. Like, what do you think about them using Riddle so much right now?
I love it. I love Riddle. I've liked him since he was the original, bro.
Yeah.
Randy's my dude too.
Yeah.
I think they're leaning it, like, it's funny, but they're leaning it a little too much into the mission, bro. It's
yes.
not, you know, like, we get it, you know, you still give your nods here and there, but, like, You don't need to tell us how much you love him and miss him.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was being a little too like sensitive to it because I felt like I was getting pretty tired during his own promo where I was all like, his whole gimmick right now is that he misses Randy, and he's just reminding the audience about Randy. And I don't even mind. We could talk the main event and then go back to other things too. The main event, him against Roman, I felt like was a Randy tribute match. Like he did so much Randy stuff that the crowd started chanting for Randy.
Yeah.
You know, Roman even looks at the camera and says, "Randy, where are you?" Like it's. I was just thinking that like we're pushing Riddle so far, and somehow he's like being overshadowed by a dude he's not there because that's becoming the focus of his entire story. And I understand that there's a purpose and a reason behind having motivation, but there's also a purpose for being you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, I'm just like the only thing like I was getting, like obviously I knew there was like pretty much no chance that Riddle was going to win that match. But with as heavy of it as with Randy as it is, and you know, truthfully, I don't even know the significance of his injury and whatnot. But I was like almost expecting, like, hey, Randy's gonna go in there, hit Roman with the RKO. No one will expect it, and then Riddle's the champion.
Yeah, I thought there was every possibility that he could win because. Especially with all the rumors that I don't really buy into either, because, you know, everyone being like, Roman's going on a lighter schedule, and how are they going to get out of him having the titles? And I was like, I don't think that they were unaware of his schedule. Like, I don't think he surprised them with this. So I don't buy into that they needed to make a big change or a shift here. But it did seem like a plausible possibility. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought the match was overall awesome, but I also thought it was so Randy heavy that at first it made me go, man, a Randy versus Roman match would be pretty sick. But then by the end of it, I kind of felt like I saw what Randy and Roman might look like, as well as what Riddle and Roman would look like. Like I really felt like I got two in one. That's not to say I wouldn't welcome Randy versus Roman, but I'm not dying for it like I was prior to that match. I felt like that cooled me off some on it. Did you get that at all, or were you opposite?
No, opposite. I'm always looking for Randy, and you know, I would love a Randy Roman match. Like, you know, I think it'd be great. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see where you're coming from. Like, you know, it's funny because I think it was this week was the throwback clip was it was Edge and Hogan winning the tag titles together.
Yeah,
and you know, they're like, oh, you know, he looked up to him, and Edge looked up to Hogan, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, it's fitting that you put this with, you know, Randy and, you know, Riddle as such a focal point, you know, but, you know, how it's been. So, you know, I think it's cool that if Riddle was a fan of Randy, he gets to, you know, got to work with him and emulate him and stuff like that.
Yes.
You know, we see a bunch of guys emulating, and women for that matter, emulating their favorites from the past. But like you said, as heavy as Randy was, or Randy's influence in that match was, without being there, you know, doesn't deter me from actually seeing a Randy versus Roman match.
No, it doesn't make me not willing to see it when it happens, but my excitement and fervor for I need to see that match has definitely been quenched to a point where I could wait again. I could definitely wait, like, because when he got injured, it was all like, fuck, I really wanted us to get to Randy Roman, like, as fast as possible. And now it's like, well, I mean, I could wait another year, I guess. Like, Randy will come back whenever he comes back, and it'll be a good match when it happens, but I kind of know what that match is going to sort of look like. But at the end of the day, Randy is Randy, and the plausibility of him taking the titles off of Roman is probably greater than the probability of Riddle taking it off Roman. So there will be that added to the match, which would be great. But just that, like, the feeling of the dream match that I have to have was kind of just lessened by having such a tribute match. You know, I was like, okay, well, when we get it, it'll look kind of like this, and it'll be cool. But you know,
well, see, and that's, you know, that's the thing. You know, Roman keeps saying, "Oh, I've gone through everybody, this and that." And I see it, but there's still like, because I don't think he's fought Finn, has he? Or wait, yeah, he has. That's when the rope broke and stuff like that. But he hasn't fought AJ, right?
No. Not that I
And I think a
remember.
Roman,
It's possible.
yeah, I think a Roman AJ would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think there's a lot we could do. I think Roman Bobby again would be good. We haven't seen Roman Bobby since Roman's first go with the Universal title. You know what I mean? Like, we saw them fight one time. It was the Elimination Chamber a while back. It wasn't in the chamber, but it was in the thing. And the winner went on to go face, I think it was Brock at the time. And everyone wanted it to be Bobby, but it was, I believe it was returning Roman. And yeah, we haven't seen it since then. And we've got a different Bobby and a different Roman now. So I'm way here for that.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's, like, I get the, hey, this is the way we want to portray it. Like, you know, he's gone through everyone, this, that, but there's so much great talent that he hasn't at least had a quick title match against, or title defense against. But I don't know. Then we got Brock coming back. Were you surprised by that?
I think a little bit, because it didn't feel like, I mean, it's been a few months, but it didn't feel like that long ago that Mania was. So I was a little surprised, because I was like, who is it going to be? Because clearly someone was going to come out. And I just wasn't sure who it was going to be. To be honest, it might not, I mean, it's most likely not a popular opinion, but I was more happy to see Brock than I probably would have been to see Cena. Just because Cena doesn't return to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hasn't won on a return in a long time, where Brock will win and then disappear. You know what I mean? Like, so it adds that element of, like, they could still give it to Brock even if he's not going to be on TV. Like, they could just do that.
Well, the thing is, though, is that they've been saying Cena's going to return, on Monday.
Exactly.
So, if he comes back a week and a half early, like, I think that would have been a little weird.
That's true. What if you end up building? I know what it looks like is we're going for Roman and Theory, or not Roman and Theory, Cena and Theory, and we'll talk about that on Raw a little bit, or maybe we'll talk about it now. I don't give a shit, man. We don't have a format we have to keep to. We're just drinking, so. It looks like they're building towards Cena versus Theory, because Theory online has talked some shit on Cena. Cena has said on some interview that he's got his eye on Theory. This week, Theory came out and said he's the greatest United States champion in the history of the WWE. He said it was Cena's time, but his time has passed and my time is now. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I could talk shit about Cena because he's washed up. So they're clearly building towards that. But I'm going to be honest, apart from that being really good for Theory long term and in his terms of growth and learning and ability to pick stuff up from some of the greats, maybe the greatest of all time, like, that's awesome for him. But I have no excitement to see the match necessarily. Like, I won't turn it off. I'm not against it happening, but the idea of, like, this is what I want is just not there. I think Go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, especially with Cena actually in-ring return.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw it at SummerSlam last year. And, I was definitely rooting for Cena. I still want to see 17. As much as I love Rick, like, I want to see Cena.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, whatever. I was going to say, you can't have the dirtiest man in the game have the most titles.
Yes.
Like the best guy, not the best, but like the nicest guy, if you will. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's the greatest in a lot of ways, in and outside of the ring. So I agree that I do want to see Cena have a 13 or 17. I mean, but the other thing is that the U.S. title, with as much as I think that that Theory's doing a good job with it, and the story he's got with Lashley is actually, to me, very entertaining. It is still very much feels like a lower tier. It does feel like a middle card thing. It feels like somebody on the come up. Cena coming in to go towards the middle and potentially lose in the middle kind of annoys me to a degree, where I think that with having Brock and Roman, What if they threw Cena into that match too, just to spice it up a little bit? We've never had a triple threat with those three, and those three have a history between all of each other. Like, there's every reason to say, hey, now or never, let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be good. Yeah, like, if Cena comes back to go after Theory, and he doesn't win the U.S. title, and Theory, he puts Theory over, do you think that tarnishes Cena's legacy a little?
No.
Just because, but I'm coming from the point of the way you view Ronda Rousey in the UFC, where she was so dominant, and then her last couple matches, she lost. And Cena, since every time he comes back now, he just loses.
Yeah.
When was the last time Cena won?
Yeah, it would remind me of Muhammad Ali, where Ali was just dominant 50-0, and then lost like 5 in a row at the end there, and then was like, okay, I better stop. I'm just getting my ass kicked all the time. Because he couldn't keep up. So it would feel like it doesn't tarnish the legacy of Ali. No one says he's not one of the greatest, and no one's against going back and watching some of his fights when he was in his prime, but nobody's watching those last 5 matches. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like it would be like that because for 15 years, Cena's got a catalog of incredible matches and wins and victories and all the stories and stuff that you would go, yeah, that was the height of Cena. And then he came back towards the end when he just couldn't quite do it anymore and helped a few people out. You know what I mean? Like, it would just feel like that pocket at the end. So I don't think it would tarnish his legacy, but it would definitely start to slow down the excitement for his returns if he doesn't catch any wins any time. And everyone he goes into, you go, oh, that's who's going to beat him this year? Like, it's fine. And then no one's going to say, like, I don't want to see Cena. And everyone's going to buy his shirt and hat when it comes out. But, like, the fever pitch you had with Roman and Cena at SummerSlam would not be there if he continues to lose. I could see, this is how what I was thinking, you could do both. What if Cena comes in to take out Theory? You're running your mouth, you little snot. And then you have a Brock or a Roman cost Cena for some reason. Or maybe it's not one of them directly. Maybe it's like a Sami Zayn, the honorary Uce. Does something. Maybe he's got an issue with Theory, and he prevents Cena on accident from winning, and then Cena's got an issue with the bloodline now. And now he's all like, hey, I was trying to do something else, but now you guys are in my business. Like, you could do something. It would take a little doings, be a little messy, but you could do something where Cena loses against Theory, but doesn't look weaker then, and then also has to now pivot into wanting to go up against Brock and Roman and sticking his nose into that match,
Yeah, and it could just be as simple as Cena telling Brock, like, hey, you cost me. Or not cost me, but last time I saw you, you attacked me.
Yeah.
You have fired me a few times at SummerSlam, and I haven't been back since, so when I'm done with Theory, I'm going after you or something like that.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then,
Brock can show up and say, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or we can just have Vince go out there on Monday and just say,
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say, I'm putting Cena in the match. And then he can throw the mic. Jump off the apron like he does.
Yeah, that'd be so good. So good, dude. But yeah, I think I'd like to see something like that. And maybe even let Cena pick it up in a triple threat where he pins Brock. Roman's pissed. You know what I mean? And can do something there. We can have some fun with it. It doesn't have to be the same old,
Right when you said that, all I could imagine was Sami Zayn. But he didn't lose it. Like complaining to him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I'll get you your titles back.
Yeah.
This is just another conspiracy against me. Yeah, you see it. You definitely see it.
Yep.
I want to talk to you about Madcap and Pat McAfee.
Okay.
Actually, it's Madcap and Corbin, and then Corbin and Pat McAfee. The Madcap and Corbin match, the last laugh match, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
It did ultimately end with Corbin grabbing a mic and yelling at McAfee for being a dick on commentary to him. McAfee did not take kindly to this and gets the whole crowd to chant so many different chants. The way that he knows all these cities and towns and their local sports and what those sports teams like to do in the stands, I love it, dude. Because he worked it in so seamlessly.
He did, but it's not hard. Like, he's a sports fan. You're not a sports fan, so you think it's like hard, intricate work.
No, it's just notable work.
Dude, if McAfee
because sometimes it gets forced.
No, 100%.
He didn't make it sound forced. The way he did it was such that it came out so natural that he was just kind of smirking, like, "Oh, they're gonna love it," and they did it, and you're still like, "This is so great!" Like AJ Styles did it pretty naturally too with the Cornhuskers, but but I like to see it when it looks more natural than forced. And sometimes you see, especially bad guys going out there, like Jericho. It was not all that clever for him to go to Chicago and say, "Ditka sucks." Okay, great. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're gonna boo you, but what did it seem natural? Did it seem forced? Did it seem specific? You know what I mean? It's just it wasn't the greatest line of all time. It was a good moment for him, and it was great the way he utilized that during commercial break. All that stuff, all that was good. But like the utilizing it in a way that seemed like natural and seamless wasn't there with AJ and McAfee does it like every town, and I just think it's so great the way he is able to say it in such a way that sounds like he's just talking to the crowd, and oops, I guess I said something that set them off. You know what I mean? And it's like they're all cheering more. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah. No, it does. It does come off, like you said, natural when they do it. And I thought you just meant like getting the crowd involved with their sports teams. That's what I was saying. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Making it sound natural, it does take a little more work.
Yeah, because I thought it was so funny when it's like right here and like MIN, and then just like did the pause, and then the whole crowd just do the whole fucking Minnesota thing, and then just like and I like Corbin just looking out into the crowd like, really, like, come on, like
this is what's getting you.
Yeah, I like it. It was funny, dude. But it also gets me excited. What do you think about the idea of us getting Corbin versus McAfee?
I mean, I would love it.
Yeah.
Like, McAfee's the man.
Yeah.
Like, he's just ultra fan, living out his boyhood dream, if you will. Yeah, Shawn Michaels. Like, it's like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, getting him out there, showing what kind of athlete he is, and how he can perform.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Do you think we get that SummerSlam?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like, there's no way they built it up that strong just to be like, no. I think they might even just do it Money in the Bank.
I thought they might do it Money in the Bank, but SummerSlam's going to be in a stadium. And I think McAfee is a stadium guy. I really do.
Money in the Bank's not in a stadium? Or, no, SummerSlam.
Yeah. SummerSlam's going to be in the stadium in Nashville. Money in the Bank's no longer in the stadium. I think if they were still going to be in the stadium, then maybe. But I think McAfee is a proven entity. And I think that you take advantage of that. Like, I think you do that to fill seats and not just like, hey, we're going to put it on the show in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I think also the build he had towards Mania against Theory was so great. And when you think about it, like, there was very little there on the bone.
Yeah.
And he made it like seem like something you got to watch out for. And so, yeah, him and Corbin, and knowing those guys have been friends for so long, I can't fucking wait, dude.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for Corbin McAfee than I am for Cena Theory.
Nah.
I'm not saying it'll be a better match. I'm saying I'm more excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I can see Cena in the ring, I'm for it.
I'm not against it. But doesn't mean I'm necessarily excited for it necessarily. I feel like Cena Theory is a Raw match. I feel like...
No, it's definitely a pay-per-view match. But which pay-per-view is it going to go to SummerSlam or is it Money in the Bank?
Great Balls of Fire.
Yes. I'm in. Whenever I can yell John Cena's balls are on fire, I'm in.
Yeah. I feel bummed that I took my John Cena towel just the other day away from here. It used to be right here, but I just moved it. I just found like 4 more too in the old storage unit. I found a bunch of Cena towels. I was like, all right.
Nice.
But yeah, dude. Also, Madcap. What an amazing transformation he's gone through. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be big for him.
Yeah, 100%. Like he's definitely a talent on the come up, and he's gonna be around for a while. I just hope that his name doesn't fucking hinder him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've never liked the Madcap name.
Yeah, I don't love it, but it is what it is. Doesn't make me hate him.
Well, to me, no, it doesn't make me hate him at all. But to me, he got the name strictly because, to me, it was just because he was telling jokes with Corbin.
Well, yeah, but that's the dewdrop effect.
Yeah.
They utilize a storyline to explain why they've given someone this name, and then once the storyline is passed, they go, well, it's too late now. It's...
Yeah. You're stuck.
You're stuck. We can't change the name anymore. We've set a precedent. That's my favorite part, is they'll literally go through so much like in-your-face rebranding, but then with a couple of them, they kind of give a shrug, like, what are we supposed to do? Change the name? That's pretty much impossible at this point.
It's stupid. You're too much invested.
No one would believe it.
Yeah.
I love it. Cheers to Lunar coming through the chat.
Cheers, Lunar.
All right, let's see. New Day and Jinder Mahal and Shanky. I like New Day's Golden Girls gear. I like that a lot. And I thought it was a solid match. Yeah, it said, like, thank you for being a friend on it. It said Shady Pines. Had their like, silhouette faces on the butt. It wasn't thank you for being a friend. It was hashtag TYFAF or whatever. Thank you for being a friend. BAF, whatever. It was the initials of it. But yeah, it was Golden Girls gear, so I thought that was awesome. Yeah.
I have to go back and look at it. Well, I'm sure.
I think if you go to Kofi's Instagram or his Twitter, I think Kofi posted pictures that were close up with an explanation of some of the stuff, so it's like right there for you. But yeah, I like the match. I like the stuff. I'm digging Shanky doing the thing that he's doing, but I do wonder where it's going. Yeah.
I mean, do we get the return of the Disco Inferno?
Oh, that's what it was too. Xavier Woods using the trombone to force Shanky into dancing and costing him the match. Like, Shanky just can't control himself. It's not even his fault anymore.
It's in his blood.
Yeah. Yeah. So good, dude.
Well, didn't they use the Pied Piper reference? Like, or was that me just thinking?
I don't know if it was. I mean, they must have said it because I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
It was unlikely we thought the same thing if it wasn't the line that was there. But I love it, dude. That was some of the silly shit that I like.
Yeah.
Like, there can be some silliness if it's done in the certain ways. Some of the silliness I just can't handle. But yeah, this was stupid and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then Jinder just getting mad and tagging himself and still losing.
Yes. So good. Natalia's promo I thought was good. She's been coming off solid. Drew and Sheamus.
That irritated the shit out of me, truthfully.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, good.
Dude, absolutely. Because Sheamus is like saying, what are we going to do? Drew's like, what are we going to do? He's like still trying to intimidate Pierce. And then Pierce is like, I'm putting Sheamus in the match. So Drew attacks Sheamus like a good guy would. Beat the shit out of somebody for getting something. And didn't even let Adam Pierce finish. Yes. Yes. The baby face is like, oh, you're in the match? I'm going to beat the shit out of you now because poor me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? And then,
and then,
go ahead.
Well, then for Pierce to turn around and go, "Oh, I was gonna say it was you," and obviously, like, we knew that was gonna happen because whenever there's physical confrontation, 99% of the time, Adam Pierce runs away.
Yes.
He's not got another thing to go. So when he's getting in between, I'm like, "Oh, he's not done talking."
Yeah.
And for them to put both of them in the match, like, to me, it pisses me off. I think it would have served a lot better. Especially if you're not planning on giving either of them Money in the Bank, who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah.
But like, tell them, hey, you guys didn't win. You didn't qualify.
Yeah.
That's it. Both of you are out. We have to now find 2 more people to be in.
Yeah. I think it's also stupid because it sets a precedent for the tournament, and realistically, it's wrestling, right? So precedent means nothing a lot of the time. But realistically, if you wanted to look at it from like an objective standpoint, everyone should get themselves double disqualified because then they're both put in the match. If the idea is you've 100%. Set up a tournament, like you've set up all these qualifying matches, so the winners, there will be one winner for each qualifying match. Well, now because you put 2 of them in, theoretically you have matches planned to put people in that match. Now you're going to have one too many people in there, right? Like the idea is to whittle it down. What should have happened is I think like you said, they said, hey, neither one of you are qualified, but you're in luck because at the end of the at the end of all the qualifying matches, everyone who lost will be in a match to determine the wild card, and we'll do an elimination match. The final 2 instead of 1 will be in the match. And if you guys can make it to the final 2, then you're both in. If you guys don't make it to the final 2, then you're out. You know what I mean? Like, do something.
Or,
make it a little like
a battle royal.
Yeah.
Like, the final 2 are in, It's fine, but I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Well,
neither one of you could follow the rules, so you both win.
Yeah. You guys didn't win. You didn't lose either, but you both win.
Yes. Yep.
I was like, yeah. They got participation awards for Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Sheamus and Drew did.
Yes. And I didn't like it. And I didn't like that Drew came off as the asshole there. Like,
he's always an asshole.
And he's bothering me.
Yeah. Like, truthfully, I don't think it'd be, like, if Drew was just a heel, I'd be okay with him. Like, across the board. Like,
I would love it.
He works well, like, he fits the bill, he looks like a, like an action figure, like you always say.
Yeah.
Like, make him he's a fucking heel. Just fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
See, my thing is, I'm wondering if they want it, like, he's coming off to me like he's trying to be The Rock, kind of.
Yes.
Where, hey, I'm going to make fun of you, I'm going to be an asshole, but yet I'm the face. And it's just coming off all wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't work unless you have charisma like Stone Cold or The Rock. And I don't think he has that level of charisma. I'm not saying he doesn't have any charisma, but he doesn't have that level where you can just get away with it. Like, I'm watching it just going, like, what a dick.
Yeah. Well, he's always been branded, like, just a straight, like, killer. Like, the Scottish psychopath. Like, just nothing but business. Like, he's got the eye on the prize, like this and that. So, just, it's frustrating. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I'm happy that they're both in the match. Realistically, I think it will make the match better. I don't like how it got there.
Yes.
Yo, dude, Sami Zayn and Caleb Braxton backstage.
It was pretty solid.
So good. I think that as much as I know that people appreciate Kayla Braxton on some level, I do not think she gets the credit she deserves by a long shot. Mm-hmm. She is a functional character in that world. She's not just a backstage interviewer. She has a ton of personality, a ton of charisma, and no lines. You know what I mean? And that is impossible. They give her the one or two lines she's meant to say, and then the rest of the time she's saying it all with her eyes. Like, all of
her
it.
actions, like, yeah, when she kept, like, looking at the door, looking at Sammy, like.
But she also wasn't cartoonishly doing it. She wasn't, like, pointing at it with her arm and then pointing at him. She wasn't, like, bird necking all the way over there. She just was, like, looking towards it with her eyes and then her head would turn just slightly, and then she would turn slightly towards Sammy, and then her eyes would move and her head wouldn't, and then her eyes moved back, and it's kind of like, are you going to go? And then she kind of like leaned into him a little bit, like almost like she's nudging him, but she's not. She just leans in just slightly, and then Sammy walks away, and I was like, what an amazing conversation that just happened with no words.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of conversation.
Since producer lady's not here, I'll tell you I had a conversation like that once on a bus with a Brazilian woman, and it was fantastic. I digress.
I could just, like, I can't see your feed, but I could just imagine you still, like, looking around the room first before you said that.
Gotta make sure. You gotta make sure. Like, you just never know. And then I says. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to give Kayla her flowers there because I feel like that with as good as she is, she also was not overshadowed by Sami Zayn, who is one of the absolute best at this right now, and especially these kinds of segments. The character work Sami Zayn does is in top 5 of all time. Like, his actual character work and development is one of the greatest of all time. Like, to not be overshadowed and to be able to blend in with a guy like that, I think is fantastic. And that's not to say that her interactions with Paul Heyman probably didn't help. But there was also a Paul Heyman callback, right? Kayla walks over, Sami Zayn turns around and gets spooked. Ah! Like Paul Heyman used to. I loved it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so good.
And how many times do you see a promo where the interviewer is just completely irrelevant?
Yes.
Most of the time.
Almost always.
So when you have her there, holding her own, like you said, without trying to outshine the other person.
Yes.
And it just comes off like natural and clean, like it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's amazing. Let's see. We got Raquel Rodriguez. She's...
I was a little bummed Shayna didn't win that match.
Yeah.
Like,
something's not clicking with Shayna, dude. I don't know what it is, because I think she's so good, but something is just not clicking with her. She's just kind of floating around, and I feel like that they need to do something with Shayna because she's got so much there to, like, contribute, you know what I mean? And she's just kind of somebody who comes out there sometimes and has a match or two and looks serious and then disappears again. Like, I feel like they're missing the boat with her somehow.
No, 100%. As much as we complained about that Elimination Chamber where she eliminated everyone, just like
complain.
Yeah, a lot. But I mean, even during this match, they were like, "Oh, she set the record of most eliminations in a women's Royal Rumble, in 2020," and it's like, okay, then why isn't she somebody?
That's true. Sometimes when they push so hard why somebody should be a threat here, it almost makes it sound like they've fallen off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all like, oh, remember a couple years ago they did this, and then 2 years ago they did that, and then a year before that they were doing this. It's like so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they should follow it up with, what the hell happened here? Like, she's been shit for the past 2 years, and we can't figure out why, because she's not a worse fighter today than she was before, presumably. But it's almost how it comes off sometimes, Longest reigning NXT, dominant NXT champion, Elimination Chamber, runs roughshod. Most eliminations in the Royal Rumble. Bites Necky's neck right off.
Necky's?
Yeah, Necky.
Necky's.
Yeah. And then it's all like, but can't catch a break anymore. You're just kind of like, well, shit, man. Like, it is weird.
But she doesn't win matches.
Yeah, but she just doesn't win matches, so here we are. But yeah, it was a decent match for what it was. I don't think anyone looked bad here.
No, it was one of those where, like, going into it, if there was a bet on it in Vegas, like, I'd have been like, yo, I'm putting a lot of money on Raquel Rodriguez.
Yes. Yeah, they're doing big stuff with her. Do you think Raquel has a shot at Money in the Bank?
I mean, as of now, yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to look at the other women in it and the way they're building her. You know, you almost got to take the Nia or the Andre approach where everyone's got to gang up on her to keep her out.
I'll be honest. I think that one of the big differences between the men's Money in the Bank and the women's Money in the Bank, just historically, is the men's Money in the Bank originally started as somebody who you thought didn't have a shot at it finally getting a shot. You know what I mean? And nowadays it's really kind of getting away from there. And with the women, it's never been that. It's always been women who probably should already be champion holding that briefcase. And realistically, Carmella's the only woman to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase for longer than a day. Everyone's cashed it in either the night of or the next night. Nikki's the closest we have to, oh shit, I didn't think that she would win it. You know what I mean? Everyone else was kind of like, oh yeah, of course. And yeah, they'll probably cash it in tonight. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason why I don't think Raquel's got a shot here is because she still really feels like on the come up. And it doesn't feel like she has her footing as a character at all. She's just smiley, generic babyface.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Like, I see your point. She's big, and they're building her as a threat and as a badass, and I think she's going to continue to keep winning. But I just don't see her with the briefcase. Like, they're only giving that to already established entities.
Yeah. Well, like you just said, like, character-wise, like, she'd be, like, the way they're building her now is she'd be the type to call her shot.
Yes.
You know, and... I fucking hate when they do that, first of all.
Yeah. Yep.
Second of all, like... But, see, I just see the women that are in it right now.
Yeah.
You know, that have qualified, and it's like... There's no one on, like, her level, if you will. Like, just size and stature and, you know...
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. You have Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan... Lacey Evans and Carmella are all in the... Oh, wait, no, Carmella's not Money in the Bank. Asuka. They're all in it right now, and they're all former champions. Raquel's the only one who really feels like, who the fuck are you?
No, 100%. I'm not saying, you know, they're accolade. I'm just saying their size and...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, they're all...
She shouldn't be out there, like,
pretty
dominating.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. What'd you think of Lacey on commentary? It was... fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
I like how, like, McAfee's sitting there, like, talking about Raquel being powerful and dominant, and then Lacey just goes, big. And you're like, great. Thanks for adding that. She just would say random words. Yeah.
Pizza! The thing I didn't like, that I didn't get, and it was either Cole or McAfee, like, saved her ass 100%. But when she started cheering at the end, like, yes, and I'm like, okay, either one, you're extremely afraid of Shayna.
Yes.
Or two, you're just dumber than a box of rocks.
Yeah. Neither one makes you look great.
Yeah, like... Like, I was so, like, confused by that. She's like, yeah. Like, not even just like, oh, right, she wanted, like, a baby face, like, all right, you know, good for her, she, you know, outperformed her, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was, like, a sincere, like, you know, your team just won the World Series almost, and you're just like, fuck yeah, hell yeah. And I was like, yo, calm down, you gotta fight her now.
Yeah.
Along with...
Is this who you're hoping
there's 7 in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I don't get. I don't like how there's 7.
Yeah.
There either needs to be 8 or 6. Like, 7, just an odd number. Like, there's 2 shows. Unless they give, like, how cool would it be if they actually gave the 7th spot to, like, an NXT town?
That'd be cool.
You know, not necessarily win, but a showcase, kind of like how they do in the Rumble, but they can actually showcase. Like,
yeah.
I think it'd be fucking awesome.
That could be cool.
Bruce or whoever's in charge now. 7th spot, NXT.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who would be like. It'd be cool to see someone like an Io, because she hasn't even been seen on NXT for a while. So, but at the same time, if you're trying to utilize it to say like, here's who we got in NXT, sort of like when they had Braun Breaker on Raw for a little bit, I would think you'd want to give it to somebody almost like a Tiffany Stratton, who's going to do some really impressive, crazy shit because she's an Olympic gymnast that they have.
Yeah.
So I would think you'd want to do something crazy like that. Or even like a Casey, or not Casey anymore, but Katana Chance, formerly Casey Catanzaro. Like, she'd be a good one to put in a match like that where she just fly the fuck around.
How hilarious it would be if she's like holding on to Money in the Bank, but she doesn't weigh anything, so it's not coming down.
Just doesn't move.
Yeah. I know it's a clip, but
yeah,
I've always wanted somebody to do that with the titles. They're like, oh my gosh, they got the titles, and instead of holding on to the thing, actually hold on to the title.
Yeah,
the title doesn't come off.
So good, dude.
But I mean, like, I think it'd be great, like, you know, just with the NXT point, where you don't bring up like a Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
You know, I love Mandy Rose, but everyone's familiar with her.
Yeah. Or
you know, somebody
like a Alba Fire, formerly Kaylee Ray. She would be a good one because she's seasoned as hell, and she's been doing this a really long time, and she's undergoing a new character transformation on NXT. To have her pop up and look like a total badass in that ladder match and then go back to NXT, people could be like, oh, who's that? Like, she could be a good one to throw in there.
And then they immediately, if they did that, whatever talent they pick, you know, if they don't win, which, you know, who knows, they probably won't. But if they don't win, immediately is in the title conversation in NXT.
Yes.
Hey, what makes you think, or, you know, why do you think you know, you're better than me? We're going to leapfrog me and try to go to the main roster type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think,
yeah. And I do think that Alba Fire might be the one to dethrone Mandy anyway, so she might be good to do that on both sides. Hey, this is awesome. And then, because they always have those NXT commercials on there, when she beats Mandy Rose for the title, you do this whole, hey, like, here you got, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this is who you got. Max Dupree did not bring out the maximum male models because the lighting was horrible. Adam Pearce is shit, so he's got to get that stuff sorted out. I like Max Dupree a lot, but I do want something to happen here with somebody.
Dude, it's so, like, I understand the slow play on a lot of things.
That's true.
You know, I see it, but I just don't like how before it was, oh, he was in Europe. For whatever reason why they bumped it, who knows why. But, oh, he's in Europe, and, you know, travel restrictions or whatever, flight got delayed, something stupid that was out of his control, which is, okay, whatever. But I think if they would have played it off like he realized he was in, I don't know where they were last week or the previous week, you know, Kansas or whatever. He doesn't want, you know, there's no way that he wants to show up in Kansas and show off his new talent. And then, oh, the lighting's not right. It reminds me of, who did it recently that was like that?
Eva Marie, for a while, wouldn't perform all the time.
That's who it was. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, no, this, you know, it's because of this. You know, just coming up with stupid excuses. But it's like, you know, if his excuses are, you know, like the lighting and vain, like even more than Eva Marie, then fine. Like, you know, build it up. But like I said, for the first excuse and then this excuse, I'm like, a little annoyed.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed just because I think he's so good that giving him like 30 seconds a week, it's like you said, it's a total slow play. And to me, I'm just so anxious to get a year down the line where we've had him here and we know what's going on and everything's happening with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And just excited to see him. Like, but, you know, yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see. Ludwig and Gunther doing their thing. I was into that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the main event, so we could talk Raw because we already talked the main event.
Yeah,
I'm excited as Gunther as a champion. I really want to I can't wait to see more and more of him doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, he's a badass. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone that remembered him before as Walter, like, should be excited.
Yes. Yep. Let's talk Raw, though. Raw opened up with Bianca Belair. I will say that during the match that they got to, Bianca was ringside watching the match, and it felt like what Lacey should have been doing as a babyface, being excited about the competition and thinking that the women are doing great is one thing, but like cheering the victor is way different. You know what I mean? Like the way that Bianca was watching this match, which was Asuka versus Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss versus Carmella, to face Bianca because Rhea's injured. Which ironically, last year the Money in the Bank match was meant to be Bianca versus Bayley, but that's when Bayley got injured. So now we've had Bayley out for a year. So it almost feels like someone said it's the curse of Bianca Belair and Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And the way that Bianca was watching it was like she couldn't believe how good this. It was like she was jealous that she couldn't be in there fighting. Like she just likes competition that much and wants to be driven. You know what I mean? Where that's not what Lacey was giving off. This was like you could see Bianca just being like, I can't wait to be in there proving myself. You know?
Yeah.
But I want to know what you thought of the opening promo segment where everyone kind of came out and said a few things here and there. To me, they all did fine, but something seemed a little off. Almost like they were all given what they were supposed to say minutes before they went out there, because it was almost like there wasn't the kind of emotion I was expecting. It was almost a little dry, but it wasn't bad. But if Alexa Bliss even comes off a little dry, it makes me think something's up, because typically the one thing you can count on Alexa Bliss more than anything is she's going to talk. You know what I mean? She's going to come off supernatural and fantastic, and she wasn't even that lively. Carmella, I think, probably did the best, and Becky, but I was a little surprised by Bianca and Alexa seeming to be a little bit off, you know?
Yeah, it was just a little. Like you said, it wasn't necessarily awkward, but it was just, like you said, something's just a little off.
Yeah, something that's weird. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, but see, to me, a lot of it was this hype of who's gonna face Bianca at Money in the Bank. But yet, two of the talent are already in the ladder match for Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I know they played it off as, oh, well, you get a straight shot. And I think it would have been cool if that happened. And, like, okay, now we have another qualifying match, which opens up a match on Raw or whatever. Or even on, the kickoff. Like, I think it'd be cool if they did that. Like, hey, we're still missing one woman. Like,
Yeah, that'd be good.
We're going to have a match on the kickoff. And then, this person has 2 matches in one night. That's the kind of, like, underdog Liv Morgan story that we would like, or that we expect.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh shit, her only shot is if she wins this match on the pre-show and then does Money in the Bank and then she wins that, like, it'd have been like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But, it just, like I said, it just seemed something wasn't clicking, and I think it was just that, I don't know, as a fan watching it, it felt like, well, 2 out of the 4 are, aren't going to be there, and they are already announced Becky versus Asuka the week before to qualify for Money in the Bank. So it was like,
it's like 4 out of 5 were kind of spoken for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the match itself, though, was really good. It even had the crowd chanting, "This is awesome" and stuff, and I loved the match. I thought it was built so perfectly. Like, everyone got to shine a little and showcase, and everything came off super believable, and I loved it. I thought it was an awesome opening match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And every time I see somebody counter the Twisted Bliss, like, that hurts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I see that every time the knees come out, because you're expecting, okay, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the finisher, and then the knees come up, and you're just like, man, she's like fully exposed when that happens.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, the match was great. You know, I think Carmella, did great. It's going to be great to see her and Bianca. You know, I hope in the next. Well, we only have 1 week, right? Money in the Bank's a week from Saturday.
Yeah.
I hope Carmella leans hard into SummerSlam of last year.
Yes.
Just for the storyline.
Yeah.
Hey, I got screwed out of my opportunity. I had to regain my opportunity against you.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the way they go with it, because if not, it just won't make sense, I guess.
I like how when Carmella wins, the crowd boos and Carmella starts laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's so awesome every time. And then she'll go over there and they'll just boo louder and louder, and she starts blowing the crowd kisses and stuff. Like, she's so good, dude. She's so underrated.
Yeah.
No.
Do you, as much as they mention it on commentary, obviously with Corey and Carmella's relationship, do you think that it would get more of a heel response if she goes over there and like gives Corey a little smooch? Just like,
Well, she's done it. Oh, did you miss some of the episodes? There was one episode she just straight up sat in his lap and they tongued.
No, really.
It was gnarly, dude. Just. And then, like, you could even see people on the other side of the barricade sitting there just being, like, totally grossed out. Just being like, oh, God. Because it was like, yeah, they definitely have played that card a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. So, I'll tell you it worked. So, you're right in that theory.
Oh, yeah. But are you excited for a Carmella-Bianca match?
I am. I think they're both fantastic. I think that... I guess it's pretty close to a foregone conclusion. Carmella's not likely to win it, and that part's a little bit of a bummer. But I think that I do think she could. I think Carmella is a believable champion. She's held it a number of times before. I did like that part of her thing where she was trying to get Liv out of the match, and then Alexa came out and stood up for her. And I liked that Becky was being a snarky little shit on the side, and I also liked where I like the fact that Carmella pinned Liv to get the win, because like I've been saying, they gotta build this Daniel Bryan like story with Liv. The crowd's more and more behind her. She's getting screwed out of every little thing like this. People are gonna be going like, what the fuck? And then by the time that I think you play it off till Mania. I think you wait till this coming up Mania, get Liv in title shot, and blow it off there, and fucking have the whole roof blow up.
Yeah, I definitely can see that, or would like to see that.
I see a lot of people are claiming they want to see Liv win the Money in the Bank and get the championship that way, but I think you have her screwed out of that too. Really pull it.
Yeah, I think you need a similar situation where, like with Becky, where hey, I did my move, then I got thrown out, the other person capitalized. I think you need that a couple times with Liv.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, damn, she was right there. She had her moment.
Yep.
But because there's other women involved, they capitalized.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm excited for the match because I think it's going to be a great match. I really do.
Yeah.
I think people are going to underplay it, but I think it's going to be great.
And what do you think of Carmella's not going out there with a mask now?
I like that their excuse for it was Corey said that you got insurance on her face. He said if anything happens to her face, we both won't ever work again. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but, I thought they were going to lean into, once again, the winning a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she doesn't have to look good for pictures, so now she's back to her fighting self or whatever, but...
What's funny is producer lady told me on their podcast, Bear With Us, that someone had asked her what her favorite part of, or what she was most excited about getting married to Corey before they got married. And she said, people aren't going to believe this, but honestly, the insurance, like to be on his insurance policy is going to be great. Like, because they weren't married. He's got employee insurance through WWE. She's got her own insurance through freelancing, effectively through the contracting. You have to pay for your own insurance. So to be able to be a part of his insurance is going to save them a bunch of money, and it's a good insurance policy to be on. So she laughed at it because she said it actually works with the reality of it too, which she was saying she's going to be excited to be on his insurance. For him to say that like she doesn't need to wear a mask anymore because I've insured her, it's so fucking funny.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like long-term storytelling.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Nailed it.
No. Let me see. But yeah, I thought the match was awesome, and I'm excited about it. Carmella's so underrated. Lynch is amazing. Let's see.
All the women in that match are amazing.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. I'm saying the character work of Becky is outrageous right now. If you want, we can fast forward talk main event too, because we've already talked about the women. Let's talk about the main event: Asuka versus Becky. The match was another fantastic match between the two of them. They worked so well together. It shouldn't be any surprise. Lynch takes a super clean loss and then breaks down on the outside, crying, shaking, like, what am I going to do? How do I get back? Like, we're watching the downfall of Becky Lynch, and every time she says that she's at rock bottom, she's got nowhere to go but up, she finds another step down to fall.
Yeah.
I think her character work that she's doing is fucking outstanding.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I'm trying to think, like, how many losses does she have now in a row?
Becky? Well, she got one win somewhere in there, too, so I wouldn't say in a row, but since Mania, I think she's lost 3 or 4 times. But she's caught
really?
1 or 2 wins in there, yeah.
Oh, for some reason, to me, it seems like a lot higher than that.
Like, I mean, the way she talks about it, it feels that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Her character feels like it's a lot too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what she's doing is so fucking phenomenal. Like, I feel like that Becky Lynch is already in the talk of, like, the level of an icon that you would think of in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, she's an iconic character at this point, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely, like, when you think of women's wrestling, you know, greatest of all time, if you will, or Mount Rushmore, as much as I hate that term.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think, like, when we look back at this in 15 years, like, who exactly is going to stand out?
Yeah.
You know, she's arguably been the most popular woman in wrestling for at least 2-3 years, right?
Yeah.
It's coming up on that, like.
I mean, Rumble was 2019. That was 3 years ago. She was already the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you're talking like 4 years.
She was already.
So I want to say it was SummerSlam 2018 that she turned on Charlotte. Just propelled her.
Which I still love. Like, you can tell that was, like, so by accident.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Like, they're trying to give Charlotte, like,
yeah, we're going to turn Charlotte into a super baby face. Becky slaps her, and then the whole crowd was like, fuck you, not happening.
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
You think they're going to finally rebrand Charlotte?
I hope they do. I hope they rebrand her as All Elite.
Complete rebranding.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. But yeah, I thought the main event was amazing.
Yeah. It was good. To me, it was kind of expected.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it sucks because there's a lot of times where I've always been a wrestling fan, and ever since we started this podcast, I like dig more into it. So I see a lot of the times where I'm like, all right, this is probably going to happen instead of this. You know, it sucks sometimes just sitting back and enjoying it for what it was. But yeah, I mean, the main event was great.
I do think
I'm just wondering when Becky's chance or, another title shot's going to come.
Yeah. Where will be the rise of Becky at this point? Like, yeah, I'm curious too. But also I find her character to be one of the most fascinating ones to watch. I do think as much as like when we first started, we were really digging into a lot of minutia. I do think that at least with me, and I think you've mentioned it too. Some of the segments we love the most are the ones that we really kind of forget that part of it, and we're just so sucked in as just every moment of it. And I feel like the characters like Becky and Sammy do that, where you just kind of watch with a smile on your face, and you're just all like, "This is just incredible." And then you go back on it, you're like, "I don't know what to say about it other than I loved every second of it, and I don't remember how it all played out." You know what I mean? Like, you just get so lost in it.
Yeah.
Where then you have stuff like Riddle vs. Omos, and it's a little easier to kind of watch it and critique it a little bit. You kind of be like, all right, well, what are we doing here? What's this? Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was cool. I'm interested in the idea that we're getting Seth versus Riddle as a story.
Yeah. It's weird because Seth has also teased a few times about him and Roman.
Yes.
You know, I always beat Roman. I always beat him. You know.
Yeah.
So, once again, looking at it, it's like, well, why haven't we had Seth versus Roman?
Yeah. What was it, the Rumble?
Yeah, but...
I know. I feel the same way. It was like, that was not enough.
Yeah.
It felt like a one-off.
Yeah. But, Seth versus Riddle is going to be great.
I'm surprised Riddle, because Seth said a few times he would never work with Riddle. So I'm wondering how much Riddle had to beg and plead and apologize for some of the dumb shit he'd said in the past. Because if I remember correctly, he had talked some shit on Becky. And that's when Seth said, yeah, I'm not working with him.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. Either way, I think we're going to get some awesome matches out of it, for sure.
Yeah.
Gives Seth something to do while Cody reattaches his arm.
Yeah, we're looking better. Saw some updates. Do you think Seth's a little stiff with Riddle?
I hope so. That is my
Riddle's one of the
absolute
guys
desire.
that can just take it.
Yes, that's why I hope so.
Look how much Riddle's selling. He's not selling. He's legitimately getting his ass kicked right now.
Yeah, like Cody and Hell in a Cell. People are all like, oh, he sold like $1 million. You're like, no, he didn't. He just happened to be there, and it was excruciating.
He was a victim.
Yes, he was a victim here. So good. Theories? The whole segment here with Bobby Lashley? I actually thought was really good. Like, I thought I was going to be so sick and tired of this bullshit. And I was like, and we're still doing some fucking flexing. Theory worked with the crowd very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they were booing him real loud, he would tell them to shut up to get them even more riled up. Like, he didn't think they were going to stop. He was getting them even more riled up, which made it even better. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it reminded me a lot of Rick Rude.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, hey, you sweat hog, whatever he say. Like,
yeah.
Like, it reminded me a lot of that. Like you said, when he's like, shut up. Like, hey, I'm trying to focus here. And, them just be like, oh, well, fuck you.
Oh, wait.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
And what it was a mechanism to get them so fucking riled up. Because think about it. Like, when you can scope out and look at it for the whole segment, it was getting them so riled up that they weren't just casually booing. They had to, like, get fucking mad at him and annoyed at him. So when Bobby showed up in the shadows, as it were, that they blew for him. You know what I mean? And then Austin, or Theory, could then really fucking, like, take advantage of it. I was like, oh, I know. Like, really acting like they're cheering for him. Yeah.
It's about time you're cheering for me. Thank
you. And they wouldn't have popped so hard for Bobby if he didn't get them to be so pissed at him before. Like, that was just amazing crowd work. Because otherwise it just wouldn't have been a bit of a cheer. And then they started chanting for Bobby. And, like, he acted confused about that. I forget the line he said, but I thought it was really good. Like, and then he does the selfie, sees Bobby, and it is what it is. And dude, I saw someone mention, because Bobby Lashley sprayed that oil in Theory's face, someone online said, I never thought the WWE would be stealing Nakazawa's gimmick here, but here they are doing it on Raw. Nakazawa was the guy in AEW who would cover himself in baby oil during the matches so he could slip out of holds and stuff that we thought was just absolutely ridiculous really early on. And I was like...
No, there's a difference.
That is such a stretch.
Yeah.
I hope he was joking, but it didn't look to me like he was. Because if he was joking, then that's a good joke. If he was serious, then it's all like...
emojis in that tweet.
Yes.
For whatever reason, it reminded me when you said that of Family Guy with oiled up deaf guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, so he can run away.
Yep.
Don't catch me. But, just the complete stretch on that. Like, hey, it's baby oil. So they both use baby oil. You know, that's not a segue or, a common ground there.
Yeah, and it was a posing thing. So the baby oil was for the muscles. It wasn't used in the middle of a match to get out of a hold. Like, yeah, it was. It just was using what was around you. The same way they use a chair. Because it's the reason they've always used chairs is because there's chairs ringside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. It was a stretch, and it was funny.
Yeah.
I liked backstage where that Kevin dude pops out to interview Theory, and he goes, "What is with you guys? Like, just jumping up out of nowhere, like."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's so weird." But Jey Uso and Angelo Dawkins didn't really care for, and kept it moving. You know what's funny about this? I give the Street Profits a lot of shit, and I'm not going to stop now. But Montez Ford's been putting on a lot of size. They are the twos. Ford's been putting on a lot of size and looking like better than ever. We hadn't seen him for a while, and he kind of popped out like with his tank top on. I was like, oh shit, his arms are way bigger than they were. Like he went from looking kind of strong to looking kind of scrawny to looking real big. And I remember when they first got to the main roster, we started seeing Dawkins cutting weight and looking good. And I feel like he's putting on weight again. It looks like he's stopped working as much anymore. I really feel like we're going to see a split between the two of them. I don't see how you keep them together.
You have to, just at this point. Like you said, like one of them looks great, and the other one looks like us.
Well, for the record, my arms are much better than they used to be. Dude, that's what cracks me up too. Because if I'm being honest, oh yeah, it cracks me up because when I see people talk shit about Adam Cole and his physique, I see a lot of people being like, unless you train like he does, you got nothing to say. It's always these fat people saying this stuff. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, I do like 20 to 50 push-ups every 3 to 6 days. You know what I mean? Like, I don't work out heavy. But in the past 6 months, my arms are bigger and look better than Adam Cole's right now. So what I'm saying is not that my cardio is better than him, but just he wouldn't have to do much to make a difference. So it really makes me wonder. You know what I mean? Like, knowing full well that my arms have doubled in size by doing less than 100 push-ups a week and not doing workouts every day, but just eating healthier and every other day doing like 20 or 30 push-ups and then being like, all right, I've had enough. Like, I'm lazy and my arms are bigger than his. Like, I'm confused because it doesn't take much effort to look a little better than he looks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the part that gets me, is I know it's a laziness because I'm lazy and I'm seeing better results. My chest is bigger than his.
Than me. Yeah.
Yes. My chest is bigger than yours and I'm as lazy as it gets working out.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, that got me was when we were talking about Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hey, are you excited yet? He's got good wins under his belt. And it reminded me of a sports thing where the NCAA does quality of wins. They're trying to make the March Madness tournament. If you beat this good team, it's this, blah, blah. So Pat McAfee beating Adam Cole, it was like, holy shit, like that's a huge win.
He lost that match.
Oh, I thought he won.
No, he won to us because he was the one that everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
But he ultimately lost the match.
Yeah. It was just me just trying to sleep it off. and I played out a different scenario in my head.
I'm pretty confident. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty confident he lost.
Damn. It's like one of those Mandela effects.
I know.
But anyways, well, my point's nil and void now.
Yeah, Adam Cole beat Pat McAfee, yeah. But yeah, he kicked fucking Adam Cole's head off, and that was dope. But yeah. Yeah. But I was just saying that because I thought it was funny. A lot of people talking shit, and I'm all like, yo, if he did like 50 push-ups a week, no one would have this to say about him. He would look fine. His metabolism looks great, and he does enough other stuff, I imagine. It's just fucking funny.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does at all. I think what's funny is like someone said, unless you train like him, I don't want to hear it. And I was like, I have a feeling that the fat gamers complaining absolutely train like him.
Yeah, I train like him.
Either way, let's talk a little more about Raw. Dude, it happened. Elias is back. Ezekiel was there to hype him up. Elias came out and had his little concert. Kevin Owens came out trying to ruin it. Ezekiel spoke on the Tron. Ezekiel was backstage to Kevin Owens after Elias smashed the guitar over his back. Everything Ezekiel, Kevin Owens, Elias, and now introducing the character, the third brother Elrod.
Yeah.
I fucking love all of it, dude. These guys are incredible. And what makes it even better is all of it is such a meta storyline making fun of the IWC.
100%. It's so good. You know, if
I even saw someone complain online, or they were making a joke. They're like, "What's so funny about this Kevin Owen things is why does he care so bad? Why is he so upset over Ezekiel? Like, why doesn't he just leave them alone?" And I was like, I love that you guys are starting to see that that's been the point all along. Is why the fuck do you literally yell on podcasts about someone's name changing?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say? I apologize.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, if this storyline was in the Attitude Era, like, we'd probably say this is one of the worst storylines ever.
Yes.
Like, we'd put it up there that this is terrible, this is stupid. But for today's day and age, like you said, with the IWC and, you know, everyone flipping out about the littlest shit, you know, we do too, but we try and keep it a little within range.
Yeah.
But, like, it's an immediate slap back to all these people complaining about the stupidest shit. And it's just hey, we're going to do this, you guys are going to complain, and it's straight gold.
Yeah. It is amazing. I saw people trying to be all like, "You're not going to fool me, that's a fake beard." I'm like, I love that you think that you're so fucking smart right now.
Yeah, you're not going to work me. I can see it's a fake beard.
Dude, and this stupid fucking
Gotcha, bitch.
review that I pulled up too, because I've had a lot going on personally, so I haven't been able to do my own reviews. So I pull up one of the ones that I hate anyways. One of their notable observation was the beard they gave Elias only looks convincing if you don't have HD on your TV. And it's like, I don't think that you saw something you weren't supposed to see.
Yeah.
Someone else had tweeted out, was like, "This is clearly a split screen. What am I, stupid?" I'm like, yeah. Actually, you're stupid because you pointed that out.
Yeah. Like, I kept, like, looking closely because I wanted to see, like, a piece of the beard, like, flipping up, like, on purpose.
Yes.
You know, because, like, how great would it be if Elias comes back, you know, or does a promo and the beard's, like, slipping off on purpose?
Yes.
Like, oh, clearly, look, it's a fake beard, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, they're working the IWC so hard, dude, and it's so fucking funny. This is one of those ones where the whole segment with any of these three guys, realistically, is another one where you just can't help but smile and enjoy the whole thing. It's just so fucking good.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love these people getting worked up, and then they think that they're not. They think they're getting worked up because they're not getting worked, and that's the funniest part to me.
Yeah. Like, you know, you're not going to pull one over on me.
Yeah.
I can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're smart.
You're smarter than most wrestling fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, until you said it. Spoiler.
This whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. We did get Bobby Lashley though versus Otis, Gable, and Theory, and I loved this, dude. Theory, or I was gonna say, Bobby versus Gable was incredible, dude. Like the amount of amateur wrestling they put in that match was so fucking good.
Yeah.
I was like kind of mouth open the whole time. Just like, holy shit, this is like, you wouldn't think it. You'd think, oh, Gable's small, Bobby Lashley's big, Bobby's dominant, Gable's kind of silly. It's just going to be one and done. The idea that they really leaned into what they always do, and like that's the thing about Gable, is he's such a fucking, I don't want to say underrated, I don't want to say like unassuming. He's such an unassuming guy to come out and he does the silly stuff, and then the match starts going and you forget how, every time you forget how strong he is, how good he is, how technical he is, how smart he is at what he's doing in the ring. That every time he goes to do his match, you're always like, oh, it'll be good. But then every time you're blown away. For Bobby to have an amateur wrestling background as well, and for them to do this match the way they did, I was like, holy shit, we just got this match for no reason. This is incredible.
100%. Like, that was the only thing that got me with that was, I think Corey pointed out, was like, why aren't we starting off tree trunk, with Otis?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought the same thing. Like, if you're stacking the deck against Bobby, then yeah, you want the heavy hitters there first to weaken them up. But the performance that we got with Bobby and Chad, like, cool. Like, it doesn't. If you had Otis first, you would be like, well, Bobby was weak. This is why Chad or Gable was able to do a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
So when you have them out there first, it's like, wait, no. They're showcasing, and it looks great, and there's no excuse or reason why Gable is able to do this besides he's fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that Bobby took him as a real threat the whole time. Bobby was trying to keep him down and was trying to do the little amateur takedowns. There was part of me that wondered if they just were actually like fucking around for a bit. Like, let's spar a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think they're both. Yeah. Come on. The first two to 3 minutes. Let's see what you can do. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, but fucking fantastic, man. And we're getting Theory against Bobby at Money in the Bank for the UC title, and I love it.
Did you see?
They say UC title?
Yes, did.
Yeah, the United Continental States.
You can't see me title.
Yeah, the You Can't See Me Continental United States.
Television, European, 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So good. Miz TV and AJ Styles, typically, I don't like most Miz TVs. I loved this one because AJ's so good. I like how much they talked about Miz having tiny popcorn balls. I like how Miz was saying, this is not a thing. We're not going to be making my tiny balls a thing. And then AJ being like, I don't know, you tell me, guys. Is his tiny balls a thing? And, oh, my God, dude. I should not have liked any of it, and I loved it all.
But I'm in the same boat. Like, I shouldn't have liked it, loved it. You know why I think I loved it so much? Is because it reminded me of Owen Hart in the Nugget.
Yes.
Yep. And I think he, when I think about them side by side, I'm like, this is, so close. They're almost the same. And I was like,
yeah,
I think this is why I loved it so much.
And I think both those dudes loved doing it so much. I think they both had a lot of fun out there, and I think they both had a ton of respect for each other, and I think that's part of why this all played off so well.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yes.
And this was a cool one, too, where AJ got them going. He's like, this is Cornhusker country. And then just waits. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Like, also, like, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good, dude. It was a good one. And then Ciampa came out, attacked AJ. So here it is, man. Second week in a row where we've gotten Ciampa coming out and defending Miz. It's not the second week only, but second week in a row where he's come out to defend the Miz against Riddle and AJ and has lost pretty flat. So
Ciampa's looking bad.
Ciampa's not looking good, man. And it was a good match. AJ versus Ciampa, dope.
Yeah.
But also kind of like, what are we doing? Like,
it's so weird because I think they were trying to, not so much make Ciampa a legitimate threat, but like say like for people that don't watch NXT, like, look, this guy's good, and showcase his talent a bit. But like you said earlier, with Cena coming back every time and losing, this is what we're expecting from Ciampa. I think it's very sad that WWE gave Ciampa Gargano a bit on the main roster.
Yeah. And I also think that it's a bummer because realistically, if you kind of rewound it us just a bit, and if you had Ciampa be the Miz's mercenary, kind of a mercenary, and if he was winning, he would look like a bad motherfucker. Who's this Ciampa who Miz has seemingly hired to just beat the shit out of people, and he does? Even if you had Miz use a distraction to get the win each time, he still would look like a badass.
Yes.
But the fact that Miz is sitting ringside, he needs the wins. Miz is sitting ringside and letting him lose over and over again. You're like, you hired the worst mercenary.
Yeah. Get your money back.
Get your fucking money back and send him packing. Like, I don't understand the way that they've done this. I don't understand the point of Ciampa now. At this point, it's all like, what good are you? This guy's bringing you in to get people out of his way. You blindside them, you sucker punch them, and still lose. Like, what's the fucking deal? You damn near hold their hand and
bring him up to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a bummer because, like you said, we know Ciampa's incredible.
Yes.
But
and the matches, like you said, the matches are good. Ciampa's good. Ciampa can work. AJ can work. You put them together, they work.
Yeah, Ciampa and Riddle, great. But
it, like you said, like for them to flat out not say what their dynamic is or their
relationship,
because there you go, relationship. Because at times, or the few times I've seen it, it seems like Miz is surprised that Ciampa's there.
Yes. But he's always there around Miz.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa, what are you doing here? And it's like, okay. And I just hope they don't, like, lean into Ciampa wants to be like the Miz. He wants his own reality show type of thing. But I just don't see where... I mean, there's plenty of places to go, but I want more for Ciampa.
Yes. Yeah, he's starting to feel a bit pointless. You see him and you go, oh no, here's this. You know what it reminds me of now? You ever seen the movie Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald?
Yes, 100 times. I love the cowboy hats.
Fucking one of my favorite movies of all time. Remember he's in the bar and he's talking to the girl, and all of a sudden his buddy Sam picks a fight and he's all like calls for Norm to help him, and he just and like he starts like yelling because they're in this fight. And he looks at the girl and he goes, ugh, I'm sorry, I gotta go. My dumb friend needs me.
Yeah.
And then he walks over there and he puts up his fist and gets thrown through the window. And he's completely useless after that. Like, he's there to help his dumb friend who's got himself into a fight, but he's done nothing effective. That's Ciampa. Yeah. Ciampa's Norm, where he goes, oh, my dumb friend needs me. He's got himself into a fight. Then gets thrown into a dumpster. And the other guy still gets his ass kicked. And you're kind of like, did your dumb friend really need you? Or
But at the same time, they at least admitted they were friends in the movie.
That's
I know
true.
it was like more so like this, like you said, relationship with Miz and Ciampa. It's weird. Like it's they never acknowledge him. Ciampa doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Miz is surprised. Like
yeah. And when Miz is on commentary for the matches, he doesn't say anything about him necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, like he doesn't hype him up. Like, hey, this is my guy. This is my friend. Like, would it be funny if if they do lean into this mercenary work, and Maurice was the one that hired Ciampa.
That'd be so good.
And be like, yo, you hired the worst guy ever.
Yeah.
I don't want that for Ciampa by any means, but
She found him on OfferUp.
yeah, like when people go on Craigslist looking for an assassin.
Yeah. Lowest bidder.
You could murder my wife for $300, right? Yeah, I'll make it look like an accident.
Damn right I can. Probably.
Yeah.
Anything else happen on any of the shows? Like, I feel like that's all I got, because we already talked main event, Becky and Asuka, which again, women main eventing, always fantastic. Veer. Veer cut a promo I wanted to talk about.
Oh yes, Veer.
I actually really liked this promo. It wasn't like a Hard Times promo that you're going to rewatch 100 times and memorize. But it was the first time we really got to see personality out of him. He struggled with a few words here and there, but he was very clear at this point. I liked him saying he's going to teach people to fear Veer. I thought that'll make a good shirt. You know what I mean? Realistically, like, what do we need out of the guy right now? If they do the right design, they could do like a...
It reminds me of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Fear the deer.
Yeah. It reminds me of the No Fear shirts. Do it in the same font, but have it say Fear Veer. But it'll make it look like No Fear.
No.
It's going to be great, dude. Then we'll have Massimo shirts for Ciampa.
I was just about to say, pretty soon
Yeah.
Miz and Co.
Yeah. Miz and Co, Massimo. It's going to work out perfect, dude. But I liked it because it was like we're starting to get personality from him from a different aspect. We've only seen him like grunt. His voiceovers for his video packages were seemingly out of place. Now we've got him talking. We've got him doing something. I think we can start doing something with him. I think we're going to start seeing something out of him. That's what I got excited about watching it. Was like, okay, he can talk. And not like he's allowed to talk now, but like he didn't fail at talking. It wasn't like, oh, shit. Yeah. So it made me really hopeful for him, actually. It made me really hopeful for him.
Yeah. The other thing, speaking of this promo, and they did it last week as well, that I'm more excited about, is the side stage interview area.
Yes, they call it the Mean Gene platform.
Is that what it's called?
The Mean Gene section or something like that? Yeah, they called it. They referred to it specifically as being the Mean Gene area.
No.
I love it. Like, it's old school.
Yeah, I was going to say, such a callback. Like, not shitting on AEW by any means, but AEW has always been, hey, we're bringing this tradition,
yeah.
That, like, that's like the one thing that they didn't, like,
they didn't catch on.
Do.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, growing up, seeing Hogan and Mean Gene, Warrior, the, not San Martino, what was the other Bruno? Bravo. Doing the bench press and stuff like that. It was always on the side stage. The $1 Million Man was challenging the kid to make a basketball hoop. And it was always on the side stage there. And I think, bringing that out there. Because a lot of these, you need the backstage stuff where the interviewer pops out and, oh, what the fuck? I love that shit. But a lot of these, like, staged interviews where it's like, hey, I'm here with so-and-so, it needs to be right there.
Yes.
Because a lot of times...
It allows them to interact with the crowd better, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You go to the main events, and, a lot of times you're just watching the Jumbotron or the screen, and you're just like, okay, cool. But for them to actually recognize and realize, like, hey, let's bring this back out in front of the crowd, get the crowd's, natural reaction on stuff. Like, it's great. Like, I love that Mean Gene area or Mean Gene section.
Yeah, me too. I think it's fantastic. I love that they do it, that they brought it back. I like that they can interact with the crowd some. I know that Theory had a promo up there once, and he was able to interact with the crowd really well. I think it's great. I love that they do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. I had something I was thinking about with that, but I forgot. So must not be all that much. So, but yeah, dude. Overall, I enjoyed Raw and SmackDown both. I really enjoyed watching the internet freak the fuck out about a bunch of pointless stuff. That was fun.
Oh yeah, the Vince stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
what the hell? Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want. It's the IWC every day. Yeah, and then the rest of us are Triple H being like, "Tell me what you want. Give me what I want." I don't
But tell
know
me
what.
what you actually.
Yeah. We're all Triple H
I'll give
being
it to
like,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't, but you're
Actually-
gonna have to articulate it. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
Spittle everywhere.
Actually, I saw that fucking promo the other day. I just started laughing because every time I heard Batista do that, it just reminded me of your "Give me what I want."
Yeah. Give me what I want. Dude, you know what I love too is. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, now that we got a TikTok, I almost want you to do the voiceover.
Oh,
Yeah,
I should
just
do the voiceover of that. I should also do like entrances from the wrestlers where I sing their entrance music. So they come out and it's me singing their entrance. I think it'd be good. That's what we're saying. That's what he said on TikTok. WOTR episode 1. That's exactly what Kev was saying that he wanted to see on our TikTok is me doing stuff like that, voiceover stuff. But
do the Bailey and
yeah.
Speaking of randomly TikToks, my wife, there's I guess this new trend where they give you a random word, and you're supposed to create a song from that word that has that word in it. She got sexy, and she was looking around, and I just started singing Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the only sexy song. Like,
yeah, it's the sexiest song known to man.
Right Said Fred. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did the Sherry part and everything.
Yeah, you gotta do the Sherry part.
Yeah. Sexy. Yeah. Anyways.
I'm surprised she didn't get Justin Timberlake at least. You know what I mean? Sexy back is the easy dunk. Either way, I think you were right.
There's a couple that surprised me, but I just had to bring up the. She got sexy and just stood there, and my son and I just started singing it. He didn't know the words, but he was laughing because she got sexy. And...
So good. I also like that Batista said in an interview recently. Someone asked him about that promo, and he goes, "People might not realize this, but I actually forgot my line there." You're like, no, you're kidding me.
I said, no way.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It was like that Tracy Morgan in 30 Rock. Gasp!
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. When the biggest wrestling secrets revealed.
Yeah.
He forgot his
name. Yeah. Way to spoil the magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it, man. I think I'm ready for last call if you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, got that last little bit there. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow night. I'll be here with Miss Amanda Jane, maybe a clump if the litter box is full. And hopefully we'll get a little Shakes Montana action slipping in there as he does for tomorrow night's brand new episode 1, where we're going to talk some AEW and some NXT. And I fear there's a lot to talk about. So hopefully our drinking buddies will be back for that. And we'll see you there. Outside of that, you can find Kevlar at Kevlar on the Rocks with an X. You can find us on TikTok at WOTR episode 1. It's a number 1 at the end. Other than that, we're on Twitter at WOTR the show. I'm at Ref Marsh. This has been an episode 1 from the dive bar of the IWC. Guys, that's the last call.
Cheers.
Please support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.